welcome to the Hangout with Abby Kimani. This is, who are you?
Imagine. My name is Rachel Kimani. I'm so honored to be here with my daughter Abby.
Thank you. Yes, I'm her daughter. And today we're going to be having a short conversation or discussion regarding the gospel sinner or sinach.
We will be talking about it with caution because that's somebody we value. We value people who speak into our lives, and something sad happened to Osinachi. It is in the lips of many people. It is in the media. And when she mentioned what happened, why should that happen, I thought that's a conversation that we also should not run away from. I am married, so it's not even like I have a straight answer for Abby, because it's not a one-off answer. What should she have done?
Yes.
Yeah. What question did you have?
No, so basically what happened? What was the whole situation?
We read it in the media, and everywhere where you're searching, the musician died, sadly. May God rest her soul. She died under circumstances. I don't even know whether it is properly verified, but generally, she was allegedly abused in her family, and she went through it for a very long time, for as long as she has been married, but she managed to live to her call. She managed to be a blessing to the whole world. I think people are just wondering how far is too far. See, there I'm quiet. It's because I also don't know exactly how far is very far.
How do you know that right now I am being abused? We are not just going through normal arguments like the way couples do. Right now I am being abused. When do you know that it has gone too far?
Even how do you know what couples go through? Anyway, I think that is a very important question that Abby has asked, and it's neither yes or not, but what happens, the question that she's asking is how far is too far? I think, Abby, depending on how have you met your spouse to be, what did you learn in your journey in courtship? Do you have the antenna? Do you have the discernment? For Christians, there is discernment. You are able to tell, hey, that anger level can turn out to be dangerous. The tone in this person as they are handling me can become quite scary. Inside us, God has given us some measure of discernment. We are able to tell, I think that's a red flag. For example, if you have an argument, normal argument, like the way you said it anyway, I can go and I buy 2 packets of milk and I was sent one. Now if I'm going to be killed with words because of I bought 2 packets of milk, that's a telltale sign, like this maybe something more. Or if you are talking in your courtship and someone is, it may not mean much, but you might be able to actually be bold enough to tell, that can become physical, because I'm likely to be more real than I am in this courtship when somebody especially beats you physically. You don't just say, that's normal, although there are spouses who say, when my husband beats me, they love me. There's another notion.
What?
It's shocking.
Sounds like daddy issues.
There are people who say, I can only tell that my husband loves me when he's so angry and he beats me. That's another story for another day. When you are in your marriage, like for example, nobody wishes to go through what she went through, whatever happened, whatever allegations are there, nobody needs to reach that level of death. I think there's a gap in mentorship, there's a gap in real marriage conversations, because we run away from the fact that you can be somewhere and you really did your best and your best was not good enough. I advocate for staying in the marriage. I advocate for not looking for excuses which make you leave your marriage, because right now everybody can gather things that have happened in your family, not the last 10 years, even maybe the last 1 week, and one can say, these ones, they're good enough for me to leave you. But you look out the good and then you listen to what is within you. People are asking, why did she have to stay? Why did she have to buy her marriage with her own life? Nobody has an answer. Maybe she kept thinking it will work out. The question is, did she have somebody who really she could trust? You know, now you're asking adult stuff. Sometimes adults, we have inadequacies. We don't know who we can trust when our issues are thick. I could only imagine, like what most people ask and what they are going through. Because for a very serious Christian, sometimes you go and you tell somebody, I'm going through this. And they're the first people to judge you. Hey, we didn't think that you could be going through this. And of course, there is a God in heaven. In fact, we are directing all our needs to God. But God has given people, other people who speak into their lives. They are pastors who can be honest enough to tell you, this line, when it goes beyond, you are dying. Because you're in the soup, you can't tell when you are boiling. But somebody who is outside can tell you, now see, you are boiling. See, now the meat has become soup. You need, when you're disturbed beyond your peace, there are people who are called counselors. If people cannot be trusted, you can just go and try. Am I paranoid or do I need direction? And then in life, there is that one person, just maybe that one person who you can tell, I think I am going through this, speaking to my life. Now, and somebody asks, why did she have to do that? Those are judgments. When people ask, why did she have to die because she needed a name? Abby, we were told when we were getting married, we're in it for keeps. Okay, so really, there's no A or B for this question. But she has children. She has left.
Okay, so sorry. Personally,
I didn't see the signal.
Yeah, I was saying, but take over. Yeah. So personally, what I think is that when you start getting scared, or you feel intimidated, or the moment you start fearing for your safety, that's when you know it's too far. The more, like, arguing is very normal, and that's like, okay, like you can be like, where is it? But from, because I know I don't want to say at you when they start doing hand signals, because me when I argue, I'm all over the place like this, but doesn't necessarily mean I want to hit you. But what I want to say is, the moment you start fearing,
she does like this.
No, not trauma. The moment you start fearing for your safety, that is when I would say that it is getting bad, and that is when they have crossed the line. And I know as a wife or even as a husband, because women can also be abusive.
Ask Abby.
Even me, I don't get
you
to
see?
talk. Let me talk. Okay. And so as a wife or as a husband, as a spouse, basically, I know you want to think that they would never hit me or they would never abuse me physically. But the moment you start getting scared, that's when you should watch out. And the moment they hit you, I know you want to think, like, let me tell you, the people who are in abusive relationships, whenever they are confronted, they always make excuses for their spouse. No, he loves me. It was just that one time. It was my fault because I had done this and that. He was just a bit angry. Don't make excuses for your spouse. They know what they did and they know that it was wrong. And I know you want to think that, like, there can be a change. Like, it was just that one time when they were angry. Maybe they didn't mean to hit me. But once they have hit you, once you start getting scared, then you should start being wary. Also, there's this phenomenon, okay, you get the point, whereby when you hit someone or when you act angry towards someone, then immediately after you give them love, the person psychologically is going to want that love more. As in, if I came to mom and I'm like, Mom, you're the worst mom ever, and I go to my room and I lock myself, then you're there, you're wondering what have I done. But then let's say an hour later and I come, I'm like, Mom, I love you so much. Immediately, you're going to feel like, wow, like maybe she was just angry before. Maybe like, I'm not that bad of a mom. But the moment I get angry at you again, what are you going to do? You're going to be so dependent on the love I gave you before that you're going to want to stay with me even more just to get that love. So it is a psychological thing, really. And you might not realize it, but mentally you're trapped. The moment you start fearing for your safety, be wary. Now,
wow, is a psychologist or what? Don't stretch it. Actually, funny enough, I wouldn't even think that some of the tips that I have given Abby, I could hear them being taught again. Those are some of the things that I've discussed with her. And awesome. She looks like she knows all the red flags. But adding,
Please.
Abby, just adding, it's not also straightforward. What you have said is so correct. And sometimes one can listen and say, that sounds so easy. It's not as easy as we said, because this someone is also trapped in the place where they never thought they would be in. That's when abuse starts. And they're gaslighted and they do something. They actually will be told they are the ones who are on the wrong. And unless they come to their realization, they realize this person wrongs me, but they turn tables to me. You see, it takes an empowered person to know I'm being gaslighted. I'm being abused psychologically here. But I must add, every mom, now I'm talking like a mother, like a wife, and maybe like a mentor also. Every person who goes through what they go through, they cannot be blamed per se. I think it is the people who are talking like you now. You're talking to lives. I'm talking to a life somewhere there. We should be able to give these tips. When do you know when you are being abused? What are you afraid of? Sometimes we are afraid. Women are afraid because they'll be laughed at. Sometimes, Abby, women don't know where to turn to. They don't even go back to their homes. They don't have mothers who can receive them or fathers who can receive them. The women are afraid of being branded as failures. They're afraid of the church. The church plays a very big role in destabilizing sometimes somebody who is wounded. Instead of picking them up to heal them, they'll say, hey, let me run away from that one. She didn't make it in her family. But somebody ought to be awake. Somebody ought to think, if I want to be a great grandmother to my children's children, what manner of life ought I to live? Am I able to make peace with God and do this? Having said that, there is one key area, Abby, that can never be underestimated: the power of prayer. When you see all those things which are happening, take them to God. Keep taking them to God and listen to what God is telling you to do, because God does not want you to die prematurely. So forget what your brothers and sisters will say. Forget what your friends will say. What are you feeling as you make a decision? Because I don't think there is anything that is worth dying for. But you have spoken like 10 women put together.
Thank you. What I can say is that love is such a strong thing. I know that if you love someone, and if you love someone and they're like abusing you, or they're shouting at you, or they're just costing you your safety, to sum it up, and you love them, you will not want to let go of that person. Whatever they do, you will still love them, you're still attached to them. But what you have to realize, that if they're hurting you, you have to let go, you have to tell someone. And then comes the problem of, who will I tell? Who will help me? Or if you don't have anyone, then what I can say is, I know the church is very judgmental, but there's a counselor available, right?
Yes. There's always a counselor.
For CITAM,
Where?
There's always, I am advertising. There's always a counselor available. I've forgotten. I'll put the day and date. The days here. There's always a counselor.
She used
available.
to do the church announcements.
Yeah, I used to. Please talk to someone. You have to tell someone. Do not worry. What will they think of me? Will they think that my husband is not enough? But I love my husband and I know he's not like this. Should I still tell? Yes, tell someone. And me, I was going to say something. Now I've forgotten. I was going to say something.
Okay, maybe as you remember, what you're saying is not really love per se. It's a condition. It's an obsession. It's actually a compulsive. It's an obsession towards
like it's attachment.
Yes, you are obsessed with someone. You feel you can't live without them, but they have made you to be so vulnerable to them. They have made you to be so needy, to be so inadequate without them. So you think that if you make a decision that will detach you from them, you're dead meat. And the point is, you need to find yourself in God. You need to actually know exactly who am I in God, because mistakes have been made. In fact, those people who don't make mistakes, they are no longer with us. They live in heaven, another world. The people who live here, we still make mistakes here on earth. Courage is needed when you look for your identity and you find it and you're able to tell, oh, I've gone this far, I'm crossing my own boundaries. And the line that I am taking, I will be so mentally unwell when this is happening. Then that's the moment you talk to a counselor. That's the moment you look for the person that you trust. But if you don't get anybody to trust, you have prayed, you're trusting God, you need to actually be at peace with any decision that you might make. Yeah.
So I've remembered what I wanted to say. Let's say that you have already passed this stage. You saw the red flags, you ignored them, you thought that they would get better, but now you are currently being abused. I would recommend, as I've said, CITAM always has a counselor available from those certain days. You talk to someone, please. And if your spouse is someone who is not very possessive, not allowing you to talk to anyone, find a chance. Pray day, Kesha, if you have to get a chance to talk to someone. Even if it's calling the police, call the police. Also, the other thing I wanted to say is men can also be abused. It is very possible for a woman to hit her husband. Do not. I know that you have the advantage that society will always believe a woman as a victim, that society will always stand up for women. Do not use that advantage. It is not okay for you to hit your husband. It will never be okay. And it should never be okay. And men as husbands, you can't hit your wife back, because now your dad will be in trouble. Even if they hit you first, even if they started it, what I can say is don't hit your wife back. But you can defend yourself without hitting someone back. So what it's called parent.
You're even the one who was showing me.
Yeah. Basically block the attacks without hurting trying not to get yourself hurt, but don't hurt her, because whether they started it or not, you're going to get in trouble anyway. But either way, abuse goes both ways. And what I can just say is it's a very manipulative concept. No one can abuse you if they don't have power over you psychologically. No one. So if you're being abused, then just know they have some sort of power over you psychologically, or they have something against you. So just make sure that thing, they don't have it anymore. Yes.
Most women use the power of control. They control what happens in the atmosphere, because they feel they won't be allowed this, they don't have space for this. So they use what you have said, manipulative things that sometimes backfire by and by. Because you can only control someone up to a particular stage. After some time, they will outgrow the control. And once they break out of control, they do dangerous things. And like you have put it so correctly, you only control that which you have been allowed to control. Yeah.
Okay. Now see, we end here.
Wow. Wow. And as you have heard, even a teenager knows when things are crossing over, children know. They watch how we live. And maybe my prayer, even as we are discussing this, we are praying for her family, we are praying for other families like those ones where children have been left like that. May God help us as spouses, may God help us as married people to just learn to role model and to be there for one another. May God help our marriages to make it. But if you have to die, just remember Jesus died for you. You don't have to die again to save
Only died
the
for your
world.
faith.
Yeah, Jesus died for your life. Jesus died for your family. Nobody needs to die because of a name. And may God bless you. I think we bring it to an end.
Yeah, so we'll wrap it up here. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.